I'm your host, Jasmine Thomas Bridges, and I'm so excited about this episode because I'm going to be digging into habits, characteristic traits of just that woman who is not only high value, but she is grown. Like, have you ever just sat back and, especially if you are in your 20s, and you look at women who are in their 30s and their 40s, and they just seem like that it girl, and they just have everything together? At least that's what you're seeing in terms of maybe how they look, how they act, how they talk. All of those things just make you wonder, what is it that they're doing? I am going to be giving you the secret sauce of those top 5 habits that those women have, and they are going to rub off on you if you begin to implement them. And I'm going to give you strategies and steps to be able to do that more seamlessly, as opposed to just trying to tell you what it is and moving away from it. I am all about implementation and truly making things work. It's very easy to hear a bunch of knowledge of what you're supposed to do, and then you're stuck because you're like, I just listened to this amazing podcast or wherever you are listening in to me, and you're like, but wait, how do I do this? So, we're going to go through all of that together. And something that I would encourage you to do as you are listening to this list is to consider, what is a grown woman for you? You can define that in whatever way works best for you. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you these habits, but when I think about a grown woman, I think about someone who is independent, and not so fiercely independent she doesn't accept help or support, because that's silly. Why would you do everything by yourself when other people, of course, with good intentions and want to serve and support you, why would you do that to yourself? But I think of her as this independent woman who can stand on her own. This grown woman is in love with herself and her life. She is someone who can stand up for herself. She has boundaries. Hello. Hi, The Luna Show. Welcome. Hello, RJ Gaming. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Money Goddess podcast here on YouTube Live. I was just explaining that grown woman, and you get to determine your own definition of that grown woman. And I want you to really visualize her. I want you to think about who she is. Where does she show up at? How does she dress? Just dig in to think about that. Hello, I see, is it Eminenen Danyasi? Hello, I'm well. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you. Define that grown woman for yourself, okay? Think about how she looks, where she goes, how she dresses, all the things. Oh my gosh, thank you. I just got them done. Just got them done. I'm trying nude colors. That's a part of one of my grown woman habits, is that I'm moving into the nude direction. So, guys, I'm going to dig into these 5 habits. I'm just so happy that you guys have decided to show up and tune in, because I'm ready to help you guys go further. If you listen to the Money Goddess podcast, it's because you really want to elevate and you want to expand. You just always think and move forward. Yeah, so grown woman makeup. Okay, that's good. I think grown woman makeup is minimal. Like, as in, she has her basic eye essentials, but she's not like overcompensating or overdoing it. I would say that it's probably more natural. When I also think about grown woman makeup, I think about someone who also takes care of what's underneath. Like that really makes a big deal. And if you've ever noticed, like I'm not truly like a makeup girly. I'll wear it when I go out to like events, but like on a day to day, this is all me. And so that's why I really prioritize as a grown woman, you got to get your skincare game, you know? You want to make sure that you look good with that natural minimal makeup on, but also like, you know, when you go to sleep at night as well. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them. I'm going to answer them. So let's talk about the first grown woman habit. And, you know, I've noticed a lot of people learn these so late. A lot of people don't really know what it takes to get to that space. And so that's why I'm here today. So the first thing is that personal development isn't optional. It's not optional for you to do personal development as a grown woman. Listen, personal development is a lifestyle at this stage. And what makes this so important? And I know a lot of the times you hear about, okay, we need to focus on our career, we need to focus on our business, we need to go to school, we need to do right? I'm not against any of that. That is beautiful. But what I'm concerned about is that you can learn all the skills in the world, but if you don't work on you, you'll never experience true happiness. And a grown woman prioritizes her personal self so that she can be where she would like to be. Okay? So, again, number one, personal development isn't optional. We're not just focusing on developing skills for work and career, although that's important. We also prioritize ourselves. I'm going to stop right here. Thank you guys for whoever just came in. Logan, okay, yes, so you get lash extensions. I did too for a while, but I had to actually stop because the glue that was used was making me break out. And it kind of swelled my eye. I've heard they do have some sensitive kinds, so I may try that. That is, to me, that's mature. I don't think that's immature at all. I think it's very mature as a grown woman to have lashes. And I do magnetic lashes like when I'm going out, but I highly recommend it. And your look is also, that's something I'm also going to talk about in your habits too. So thank you for sharing that. Now, on personal development, always remember, as a grown woman, your external world mirrors what is internal. So if you focus on your internal, your external is naturally going to come out exactly the way that you want it. Your life is technically on autopilot by your subconscious mind. So, if you've ever looked at someone who may have experienced certain traumas or things like that, and they don't even have an awareness and they keep attracting the same situations, they have all these patterns, it's because their subconscious mind is running the show. Your subconscious mind outpictures 95% of your life. That's why personal development is so important. And if you don't prioritize personal development as a grown woman, you are not going to live the life of your dreams. Make it a priority to learn also about your spirituality. So as you're personally developing, right, you're thinking about what routines, what habits you want to make. You're looking at your characteristic traits that you're developing. Make sure you put spirituality in there. I don't care what your religion is, you know, what you practice. For me, I am what they would say is like more woo woo, but I'm also like a Christian. So I kind of have both practices go on, and that just really works for me and helps me connect to God and Mother Goddess, and that grounds me, right? And that helps me to develop. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to sustain the life that I have built. That's why, as a grown woman, you have to have that foundation of self. And what will happen is when you don't make personal development an option, you will create actions that align and will help you stand the test of time. personal development is not just about sitting down and reading a book that you're, oh, I want to grow a $50 million business in 5 hours, right? Because that's what I think people consider personal development as. They're not really thinking about their characteristics. They're not thinking about spirituality, how they can grow. They're not thinking about healing, all of those things. But that's what it is. The more that you do this, even if it's one time per week, you sit down maybe on Sundays and you journal, right? Maybe you have an audio book that you listen to when you work out. It can be simple, small things. All right, number 2. As a grown woman, you got to learn how to read the room. If you don't know how to read the room, you are not going to thrive the way you should. So let me tell you about this. When I was 22, 23, I had first started my career as a teacher. And I was in a charter school setting. I had at the time, I didn't realize it, but I had a very jealous co-teacher. So what I found out years later is that she didn't get the position that she wanted. And she basically was kind of like taking it out on me, but she was also like slick jealous of me because I accidentally overshared that like I had a boyfriend and I was having a great life and I was always smiling. I was sharing my ideas, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just when you can't read the room, you don't realize you shouldn't be giving this information or sharing or acting a certain way when you have people who don't really like you. And then I found out that she didn't like me, and it was almost too late. And like she would throw shade and things like that. And now looking back, I wish I had handled things more maturely, but I just wasn't there. I wasn't really a grown woman in my early 20s. I was still progressing and trying to understand things. So when you're learning how to read the room, you need to know who is for you and who is against you. And that's why that personal development is important, because when you go through personal development, you can see what people really like you, people that are loyal to you, people that want to see you win and grow and thrive. And then people, even if they hide behind a smile, they pretend like everything's good, but deep down inside, and pray and ask God to help you know who is with you. Even if it's unclear, because sometimes again, people hide it. That's why the Bible verse says there are people who are sheep in wolves skin, or they're wolves in sheep skin. Sorry, I had that backwards. And so I don't know. Y'all know what I'm saying. Sorry if I got that wrong. But that some people are not exactly the way that they try to present themselves. Jealousy is real. And I also want you to refrain from oversharing. Be a little bit more private. Privacy leads to more respect. Now, I'm not saying be secretive about every little thing, but privacy, oh my gosh, when you are a private person, it amplifies and says you are a person that can't be messed with. No one knows everything you're doing, so they can't try to steal and take from you. That is top tier. And the older I get, the less that I share. Even if I'm venting, like I'm careful about how I vent, especially to friends. I am cautious about what I say and what I don't say. And I think that it's important for us to all consider that. Now, so we just gone over personal development is an optional as a grown woman habit. Learn how to read the room. And then the third grown woman habit is emotional regulation is required. That's right. I have found for the past 12 months, I have been doing EFT tapping, and it has changed my life. I believe I've shared this on the podcast, but I had a horrible pregnancy, postpartum, delivery. Like, to be honest with you, it's been almost 4 years since I got pregnant, and my son is now 3. I literally am just now getting back to myself. That's a long time. And what helped me in that second year is January 2024, I started doing EFT tapping. Now, at first, I didn't think it was for me because I didn't like the basics of EFT tapping and tapping myself and talking through things. Like, I didn't want to do all that. I just wanted to tap. And I started doing it. And if you look on my YouTube shorts, you might see some EFT tappings. I also did some on TikTok. I will say this, I'm not as active on TikTok because of the potential upcoming changes in the US. So you may want to, if you aren't in the US, you can definitely go over there and follow me at I am JL Thomas. Money Goddess is my name, and you can even search for it and I'll pop up the Money Goddess on there. But EFT tapping is basically where you are tapping your meridian points and you're helping get your nervous system into alignment. And emotional regulation has to be required as a grown woman so you can stop popping off at the mouth. So you can stop reacting to situations where you normally would not. And for me, I had hormonal imbalances. I had trauma. I had like depression. All of those things were not helping me, plus anxiety. So doing EFT tapping every day, that is a habit that I have cultivated and I don't plan on stopping. Now I don't have to do as many rounds. My body has gotten like really used to it, but it helps so much. I want to be clear with you. Emotional regulation helps you to know that everyone doesn't need or deserve a response from you. I have stopped explaining myself to people, and I think that it has saved a lot of relationships. I don't say exactly how I feel all the time, and it's not easy, especially when it's people I love and I'm comfortable with. I just want to say it and like clear the air right then and there. But I've learned there is also a time and place for everything. And I also have to go back to reading the room. And when you are emotionally regulated, you can read people better and you can read and know yourself better. You can kind of do a scan because you're not in fight or flight mode. They also have fawn and freeze, but typically we'll be in one of those 4 stages, and that emotional regulation helps us to get more grounded. It also allows you to stop trying to control everything when your emotions are in check. You don't try to control people's responses. You're not trying to control life. You're not trying to manifest something quick that isn't going to be sustainable. Yes, that's our generation. Everything is so fast, so quick, and it does get to us emotionally. We see people online, people as they call them like keyboard thugs, and they say all of these things. It's just react, react, react. Well, I'm telling you, this is not what we need to be doing. We need to be regulating our emotions as grown women on a daily basis, and EFT tapping is one of those ways. I will share with you the Money Honey course might be helpful for you because I'll also go through and discuss ways to get your nervous system in alignment besides EFT tapping. I have lots of other tricks that might work for you. You can visit shesworthy.org if you would like to check out the course. Now, the fourth thing or habit that grown women have is prioritizing self-care. That's why I just shared that I got my nails done earlier. I actually had just left from Pilates and I was like, oh my gosh, I still have these like bright red Christmas nails. I'm ready to go back to my nudes so that I can like be my professional person. My nails are a part of my aesthetic. It's a part of my brand, and how I carry myself. I like to look put together. So even if I don't always look 100% with other areas, I'm going to keep these nails done because I talk with my hands. Like, that's my profession. So I always want them to look good. Now, I want you to prioritize that self care, especially as you get older. Your wellness matters more and more as you age. Like, there is no way around it. I wish that, as we age, things got easier on our bodies, but it actually gets a little harder because obviously gravity is pushing down. And so we have to lengthen ourselves. And that's why, like, I go to Pilates. I've been doing that for almost 3 months now. As of like 2 weeks ago, I had lost 9 pounds. I'm not sure what it is now because I'm not doing this for weight loss. I'm doing this for sustainability, flexibility, endurance, stamina, and just feeling good about myself. I spend a lot of money though on my self-care. And to me, that's what a grown woman does. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I spend $1,000 getting my hair done every month. Like, don't get me wrong, looking good is important, but if it is the bulk of your budget, that's not going to help you for wellness, right? So my expenses come from the type of food that I buy, right? I'm mostly everything that I have is purely organic. Then on top of that, I take different supplements. My son takes supplements. I get my husband to take those too. We're drinking our kombuchas, our tea, all of those things help you and increase your longevity of life. Prioritize that for yourself. Think about your exercise routines, your nutrition, and even more with wellness. It allows you to value yourself more and your time and your energy, because the truth of the matter is we don't know when we're going to leave this earth, but I refuse to be miserable while I'm here on earth. So I'm always going to put my wellness at the forefront. That's how I'm able to deliver these powerful messages to you. That's why my immune system is intact. This weather has been up, down, up, down. My son has been sick. You can hear a little nasal here. I think it's because it's a little chilly, but I'm not sick. I'm hardly ever sick unless I get stressed. Now, that's another thing about self-care. We have to minimize our stress. One thing that I use is ashwagandha. Again, I am not a doctor or a physician. You need to talk with your medical provider if you want to do anything to help with stress, but I use ashwagandha to help with relieving stress. Of course, I'll drink the tea. They also have gummies. I have my Amazon link. If you guys check out my About page here on YouTube, or if you see any of my links that I have on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at IamJL Thomas, you'll see that I have a link where you can see like all the products that I use and all of those things. But ashwagandha is so helpful. Look at your supplements that you're taking. Look at your routines that you have. Something as small as, like I said, skincare is another essential piece for your wellness. Think about your hair, I do yoni steams, bubble baths. You guys, there's so many different things you can do for wellness, but take it one step at a time, right? You want to think about what one wellness habit can you build that's really going to help you in all the other areas that you want to develop. And mine was Pilates. That helped me to get the ball rolling. Now, here's our last grown woman habit, okay? This is the last one. Finances aren't just for flexing. Hello, hello. Welcome to all of you that are coming in on YouTube Live. So happy you're here. Finances are not just for flexing. Everybody's like, I'm getting my 6-figure salary. I'm going out. I'm doing me. Listen, your finances are for your sustainability, your longevity, and to be quite frank with you, we're all going to get old one day, okay? More than likely, most of us are going to, grow older. You're not always going to be able to work your entire life. As much as we want to, we probably won't. So that means you need to do a couple things to put yourself in a position to retire, or to, if you don't want to fully retire, have, because I never really want to fully retire, but I want to have enough money to live off of for a long time. So one thing, and even when I was pregnant, like I had saved up 3 years of expenses, and that was amazing. Thankfully, I didn't have to use all of it because, I was able to get back into work, but I worked slow over the years. I never really worked full time again, and I'm not doing that until sometime this year. So it was nice to be able to do that. Well, now I'm at the place where I'm like, okay, like, I'm in my early 30s, and now I have to really think about retirement, because this is when retirement years really matter, because your 30s are like your highest earning, as well as your 40s, and typically from 50s and on, it usually goes down a little bit because we're getting older and people start retiring. So you need to know your income and expenses. Be very clear on that. So I have a spreadsheet for expenses and income, and I also have notes as well that, like, I write everything down, and it just helps me to keep track of like what is coming in, what is going out. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not a person who's like count every single penny, you know, clip coupons every week. But if I can save in a way, if I can do things that are going to help me to get to where I want to be, absolutely. Like, that's just important. But knowing at least your income and your expenses, and seeing that you're not spending any more than, I would say a good number to me is expenses at about 70 to 80%, and maybe you have about 20 to 30 left over so you can put it away, is a pretty good range. I would also say a grown woman habit is to build your credit. If you have not built your credit, I highly recommend that you work on that. Now, I want to share with you guys that my course, Position to Prosper, it's actually not a course, it's a master class. And I go through all of this, like how to do investments, how to work within the stock market to build high earning dividends. I also talk about like how to adequately save, how to do digital marketing so that you can have passive income, all types of things. And I even discuss credit, because I will share this with you guys. Since I was 26, I have had an 800 plus credit score. And that's not something that I go around sharing with everyone, because I don't, like, this is not to flex. As I've said, finances aren't just for flexing. This is me just telling you this because I think that my credit is the reason why I am where I am financially. And of course, you want to, get advice from a financial advisor if you feel the need to. But for me, I was very much so in a good position because I could invest in my business with other people's money as opposed to my own. Yes, I had to pay it back, of course, but it gave me time to do that. And that's the beauty of having your own credit. Because if you don't have credit, most of us were not born into money. And if you've checked out my page at all, you know that my mom raised my sister and I on a $10,000 yearly salary. Like, I did not come from money. My third great grandmother was a slave. I don't have it like that, right? At back then, like, I didn't have it like that. It wasn't that way. Now it's a totally different story. But, I'm saying all of this just to say my credit was the reason why I got to where I am now. And I also want you to invest wisely. And investing isn't just like, I want you to go and out and invest in a business or invest in the stock market. It's not just actual finances. It's also investing in yourself, your knowledge, your wisdom. And yes, invest in those skills and all the things that you need to do to make yourself better in the world of finances, your wealth, and all of those things. So these are habits that a lot of people, to be honest with you, I'm in my early 30s and I know people in their 50s and 60s that still have not applied these habits. So if you are younger, if you are in your 20s or 30s and you're listening to this and you're ready to apply this, you are ahead of the game, period. And I would prefer for you to be ahead of the game than behind the game. So I'm very excited that I got the chance to show these to you, because I think that it's going to make a difference in how you show up in the world. Please feel free to share this episode with others. I'm also going to be doing another part where I'm going to be talking about characteristics of high value women and like what that looks like. I really want to get into these details because I think a lot of the world focuses on that external, shallow materialism, all of those things. And like, they're not really telling you the truth is that everything is internal with our habits, our character. Like, that is what gets us to where we want to go. Like, that's how I am who I am because of that. And I like to be very truthful about and transparent about my journey because I know that it works. Like, one of my friends, Isabel Palacios, she has a YouTube channel as well. And she told me, and she also has Taking Back Your Power podcast, which I'll be on that again. It's been, oh my gosh, almost 5 years since I've been on her podcast, but I'm going to do it again probably this month in January of 2025. But I remember she said that I was the real deal. And I didn't know what she meant at that time. But then as I started to grow, I realized people are fake. And when I say fake, I don't mean like they're like flaky or pretending, but some people really are not who they say they are. Maybe they are pretending. But when you have these type of habits, like, nothing about you is fake. Nothing about you is like, oh, she really doesn't have it like that. No, I am who I say I am. And a lot of people aren't. I'm talking to you about character because I want you to grow in life. I'm not just telling you these little cutesy little things that make you feel good. No, I am the coach. I'm the person that's going to be raw. And I've always been known for that. And some people don't like it. And that's fine. But I'm going to be who I need to be. And because I know when I'm real to myself and I'm authentic, it changes the world. So if you love this podcast episode, please make sure that you subscribe to the Money Goddess podcast. Stay tuned for more details because I'm ready to keep going. Like, this episode made me so happy. Like, I don't think I've ever been it's been a while since I've been this excited to share an episode. So I love you guys so much. And if you are tuning in on the radio, or if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I will be doing a follow-up in between after the commercial break. But let's get it.